outside this world. We often forget how much unites all the members of humanity. Perhaps we need some outside universal threat to make us recognize this common bond. I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world, this world, this world, this world, this world, this world, this world.
Alright, here we go. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Welcome everybody to my stream where we're watching PGL Bucharest Major 2018 CIS Finals Qualifier between Suicide Team and Vega Squadron. But before we get into this, I want to thank everybody for the 5 bits. You were actually the first person ever on my stream to cheer, so thank you for that. A huge thanks, and also to Donskaya for the follow. I might get some pop-ups. I tried to set up my Streamlabs so I don't get too much noise from my notifications, so hopefully you can just focus on the game. I won't be bothering you guys too much, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So these two teams made their way to the finals after Suicide Team placing second in their group stage, and Vega Squadron taking the first place. But both of these teams are from Group B. So Empire and Effect, who were both eliminated in the semifinals, didn't make it through, and now we decided between these two teams which one's going to be going all the way to compete for the $1 million of the major called Bucharest Major 2018, which takes place in Romania, which is a lovely place. I want to visit that place sometime. But into the draft itself, we've got the first phase already passed and already going into the second banning phase. Enchantress, Tiny, pretty common bans in the first phase. And Brewmaster, I mean, I would have liked to see a Brewmaster, since this hero is so good, especially at level 25. When you hit the late game, you can just basically, with that Octarine core, just split push constantly, so you can ignore the whole team fight factor. You can just basically sit there, use your ultimate, push to the high ground, keep spamming that with every 25 seconds, and with the Octarine it's even shorter, so that is a nasty off-lane pusher that you just don't want to play against. Clockwork, Night Stalker, nothing to add there, but interesting Razor ban in the first banning phase, since usually Razor's more that kind of a second phase ban, since of course Razor's played as a position 1 or 2. Kind of thinking like maybe Suicide Team's been playing Razor a lot. I did check one of their drafts where they played against Team Empire, and they had a 25-minute finish with the Razor, so might have been scouting their opponents a bit and just want to get rid of this hero. not see it in this game. But Witch Doctor, Tusk for Suicide Team support combination, pretty fair all around. You've got some healing sustain with the Witch Doctor's heal. Tusk, great all around if you just know how to play it. It's kind of a double-edged sword though, since you can either save your teammate or you can just mess up the whole setup completely. So you got to be careful with how you're going to be interacting with your teammates with this hero. Bane, Omni Knights, pretty fair all round. We'll maybe see if Omni Knight's going to be playing off lane or if Omni's going to be the other support role here. Might even expect a Mirana Bane combination from Vega. We've seen Mirana being played a couple times by them, so why not? Basic Nightmare Arrow. Put some pressure on the mid lane and shut down your opponent's mid pretty quickly in the early game, and also forcing Witch Doctor and Tusk to more move around in your mid lane. Anyway, second banning phase, Medusa Terrorblade. Pretty fair all round late game carries here. Maybe they're even aiming for some kind of mid-late game lineup here on the side of Suicide Team, since they're banning these two heroes out. You still got every possibility of going into... Okay, my Streamlabs alerts don't seem to be working on the stream. I do get the... Oh, actually they are. Never mind. Thanks for the follows, guys. I'll catch up with you later on with the pauses if we have, or during the break. Batrider, Abaddon, two more offlaners banned from Vega Squadron. So Suicide Team, what are you gonna go for? You've got a lot of offlane heroes banned out here, kind of leaving it to old school heroes such as like Centaur that hasn't been that much around in the meta lately. Maybe an offlane Doom even could work here, but it's kind of like you're banning already so many offlane heroes from the other team that if you pick a Doom now, it could be a completely useless hero in the entire game, since you would rather want to play it as a support then. But you can't put Tusk in the offlane role; he'll just get punished a bit too quickly there. What else is there to add? I mean, the way I've been seeing Vega Squadrons been playing their games, they're heavily kind of mid-game oriented. They do have some capable, like Undershock, for example, a great player who used to play for Double Dimension before, now picked up by Vega Squadron apparently. I mean, he's playing as a stand-in, so might have the opportunity to show here. He's been playing mid Mirana quite a lot as well, so I'm pretty sure they're gonna go for the mid Mirana and the Bane support. But anyway, Doom picked. Okay, I was kind of right, but don't really see any other. I mean, Olivati asking Darkseer's still relevant. Darkseer's okay combined with the. You need some kind of setup to follow up with. For example, Disruptor Darkseer, which is a very typical strat for CIS teams. Disruptor not picked in this game though, so maybe not the best hero to combine it with. Maybe, I mean, Tusk, Witch Doctor don't really work together in sync with Darkseer, so I'm gonna go with a no here. So I don't see Darkseer that big of a hero. Vega still got about 1.5 minutes left, thinking, what are they gonna go for here? They still got the opportunity of putting Omni Knights off lane. They could play it as the other support role. There's probably gonna be that Mirana I was talking about. But what is the safe lane carry gonna be like? Since maybe something like if you're playing a Void, you're just gonna get smashed by Doom every time. He's just gonna use his Shadow Blade, put the Doom on you, so you can't get away. Your hero becomes pretty pointless at the time you get doomed. I guess Gyrocopter could work alright here. Does give some more early game for them. They've got some nice burst damage as well with the Purification and the Brain Sap combined with Nightmare. Just put your hero in place, do some nice pure damage, burst damage, and then Gyro can also throw that call down on top as well, so you can work around that too for some single pickoffs. And I mean, Gyro's been played quite a lot in the Chinese games, more as a position 4. I'm pretty sure this Gyro is still going to be a carry role here. Queen of Pain had some nice sustain to their team fight, also some high ground push as well. and kind of, I mean, during your mid lane, I mean your laning phase, Quap should be alright against the supports that Vega Squadron have against him. It's also not necessarily the greatest matchup against DK. If DK gets a couple levels quickly, Queen of Pain's dagger is just not gonna be doing that much damage. But at least there's that nasty slow. You've got 2 stuns with the supports. Doom can also make some rotations at some point happen, and but killing DK can be small of an issue since he's a really tanky hero. But it just does take some time to get him online. So maybe Suicide Team's gonna heavily focus maybe on their safe lane and try and get this Omni Knight. Though Omni Knight could be hard to catch with only magical spells, since if you start leveling Repel fairly quickly and start maxing it, who knows? Who knows? Usually people go for the Purification max, but can also go with a couple extra points on the Repel to reduce the cooldown. Last banning phase, and the last pick of the draft will go for Suicide Team, so they still got a chance to add up to their draft and maybe either bring that tower pusher or just bring some kind of heavy physical damage carry. At least they're banning the Nyx. And well, there goes Luna, which could have been a good pickup here. Especially against that DK, Luna could have been a fairly well-rounded hero. So we got both teams capable of doing stuff in the early game. You've got Suicide Team, who at the moment look like they have a really strong mid game. And yeah, I don't know. Vega still got their last pick to fill in here, so this is either going to be their roamer or their offlaner, depending on where Omni is going to be positioned. Oh, I mean, we could see something completely different. We've seen mid-disruptor plays, we've seen off-lane tinkers, and you can just end the game in 20-25 minutes if things go well. Just the thing that I'm thinking about is that Terrorblade ban, which could have worked for either team. But then again, if you pick Terrorblade, there's a Tinker player on, I think both teams have at least one Tinker player. So, but Earth Spirit will be the roamer for Vega Squadron, and their draft is kind of filled. And yeah, that's a lot of early game that you're going to be fighting against. We Mad Science Dotus asking, which team am I rooting for? I don't know, man. Because I've seen Vega Squadron play before. There's a couple familiar players on their team. I've never seen Suicide Team, though. They've got 3 seconds left on this last pick, and it's going to be a Faceless Void. So you have your Quap Void Chronosphere combo, which is great overall. So why the hell not? I mean, Suicide Team, never seen them play before. Bandscore, y'all, familiar names. Hey, I don't know. I really don't know. I'm just really excited to see a new team rise up from the CIS region and do some stuff, make things happen. But what I do like about Vega Squadron is this Earth Spirit pick that they saved as their last one. You can do some good setups with Nightmare and Kick. Also, if Bane can position him really well, he can take Void completely out during his Chronosphere. Also, to add the fact that his ultimate does go through BKB, so even if you build a BKB on your Quap, you can still possibly catch that hero with your ultimate. So it's all up to Doom. Who's Doom gonna be focusing with his ulti? Also, his Infernal Blade in the later levels are going to do a lot of damage onto heroes, especially like DK, who have huge health pools. So it will start taking down your maximum health with a nice percentile as well. But anyway, this is best of 3. So this is game 1 of this series, and as a reminder, the winner of this series will be heading into the actual Bucharest major to compete for $1 million. And I'm just doing a fun cast over here. I'm not the actual caster, so BTS is probably running the main stream, but hey, I'll try and fill in as well as I can, and hopefully the stream won't lag that much and you guys can enjoy this game. Anyway, into player introductions, we have Team Suicide Team. We've got Shaklo on Doom, Van Score on Tusk. We've got Yol playing Witch Doctor. Not sure if this is LFT or is this LFT8. I'll do a quick background check. Playing the Void and 633 on Quap. Just a quick second. This is a very embarrassing moment, but yeah, that will be Puber playing position 2. So are they actually going to be putting this Void mid? We'll see, we'll see. And of course, Vega Squadron. We've got Sajak playing the Roaming Earth Spirit. We have Seema the Slayer playing Bane. Palantimos on the Gyrocopter. Blizzy playing Omni Knights. And of course, Undershock, your DK. Already got some warding around the mid area. Pretty basic warding here, just giving that nice vision. And pretty certainly both team supports will be moving around this map. And mostly maybe even taking control of this mid area. Usually you see a dire ward in this area. This time we don't. So they decide to put it here onto this bottom side. And Undershock's actually going to go and contest this bounty rune, knowing that Quap is here. He does take one. 633 just decides to throw a couple of right clicks in and ignore the double bounty possibility here. So 3 bounties going in the way of Vega Squadron for the start as we hit this laning phase underway. Alright, there we go. Do participate in chat. I'll try and pick a couple of comments here and there as well as I can. It's a great thing that you guys are over here, and I really appreciate the opportunity to be casting here. Just doing some random casts and having this many viewers here, so it's all thanks to you guys. So we've already got a dual mid set up here as Peever and Yol against this tanky DK. He started off with a Breathe Fire, which is pretty basic to start off with this last hitting and try and keep in pace. Since you do have these 2 heroes here, as Witch Doctor also has a nice amount of right click. There's already a nice roll in, throwing at the cast, already dropping half health on Yol. Will be alright though. You know, on the top lane, Shaklo still allowed to stay here, taking some XP. There's also Van Score just making sure that Doom's gonna be fine here in his lane and try and grab as much XP as possible. He has started off with an Infernal Blade, so he doesn't have Devour level 1, which is pretty common on a Doom player, that you just want to go to the jungle, find a big creep. Never really matters which creep you're going to be finding. If you can get a Satyr for the health regen, it's always great. Even the Wildwind Ripper for some extra armor, depending on what heroes you're going to be playing against, of course. This is the only English cast of the finals. BTS is not doing one, it seems. Oh, okay. I was expecting they would have been doing one, but anyway, we've got Blizzy taking some harass here from Quap and Van Score. They're driving him away from lane. So he's probably going to be forced to back up. He's already popped his healing salve and dropped at half mana. We've got some harass here. Shaklo does end up getting hit by the roll. Nice body blocks by Zajac. There's the Nightmare follow-up, trying to maximize this damage from these right clicks, but nice cast follow-up as well. Maledict hitting onto 2. Shaklo, he's got the rocket coming. This might be first blood going in the way of Vega Squadron. Is it going to be enough with the damage from the rocket? Yes, it will! Palantimos picks up the first blood. So 300 gold for killing Shaklo, and that is our first kill of the game. 2.5 minutes in. Paying for this aggressive movement there. It looked like the Radiant team, Suicide team, could have probably turned this around with the Maledict landing onto 2, but didn't happen this time. And Zajac, oh, they block his rolling boulder, so he stayed there for a bit too long, and now he pays for it with his life. So Zajac ends up going down as Yol picks up another kill. Blizzy dropping at 200 health here. He's only got a mango on him, so does actually have a Quelling Blade and a Magic Stick lined up as his next item, so let's see how much money he's going to be using into regen. Anyway, top lane, Slayer's already level 3, so that's a great start for him as a Bane support. So not bad at all. I'll try and catch up with the follows. Hopefully the notification sound isn't too bad, so I can take the sound off during the break. But I'll catch up with the follows and everything else later on. Shaklo, he's hiding himself in the trees, so interesting positioning there for himself. Zajac trying to contest this pull. He realizes that they want to pull this camp to try and get some pressure off, as the lane is already pushing pretty deep, allowing Blizzy to get a lot of experience here. This is a great place to be for the Omni Knight right now. Slayer also picking up both of these bounty runes, but won't be facing any trouble here. This is looking like a very passive start from both teams, and we've got one kill on both sides, but I mean, there's a 3-man rotation. There's a TP's coming in as well under shock. Will he be able to find anyone, though? He doesn't have the Dragon Tail, so there's no way he's going to be stunning anyone except Zajac kicks LFT back. So Puber might end up going down. He's still got a long cooldown, but there's the snowball save for the time being. 3 more seconds until he has his jump. Can he get it out? Can he get it out? Yes, I think he will survive for the time being, but Vanscore gets bursted down. Zajac still following with the roll. 50 seconds. I don't think he's going to be able to jump away. They're just hammering him down with the staff and the mace, and he's trying to make a run for it, but it's not going to be enough as Zajac picks up a second kill for Vega Squadron, and it's looking very good as they make that nice support rotation there into the mid lane. And so you get paid for it. Void stuck there for maybe a bit too long, and this is what I'm kind of thinking about, putting Void in the mid lane. It's not that usual, so maybe some kind of meme strat, I don't know. But, I mean, everything can work, like someone once said. There's the rocket Nightmare. It doesn't do any damage, though. I don't think Gyro's been putting any points into his rocket. Well, there's only one. He's been maxing his rocket barrage. And take note that even though it says it's only 7, 12, 17, 22, if you only have one target getting hit by the rocket barrage, that's going to be a lot of damage onto the target. But I was expecting he would have maybe maxed his rocket, the homing missile, since you can just throw it out every time you have it off cooldown, harass your opponents out of lane, and just do so much more damage with that instead of the rocket barrage. But maybe with the help of the Bane, they could maybe think of something else. About 6 minutes in, there's a very minor net worth lead here as Vega with these 2 kills that they got from the previous brawl in the mid lane. And both mid laners pretty heavy on last hits. There's the Maledict, nice casks as well. Is it going to be enough though, Blizzy? They're going to go for a turnaround here as Yol. He does get stunned around. There's a kick as well, and Yol ends up going down. Puber has to jump away, and there's also Slayer making his way to the mid lane. Vanscore almost getting caught there, but manages to walk back to safety, and that's a 4th kill for Vega Squadron. Meanwhile, 633 has got 28 last hits and 17 denies, so he's doing alright here in this bottom lane. He's got a completely free lane for the time being, but as I was looking away, they're already going into the mid lane. There's a kick from Zajac trying to roll away. He does manage to get that roll just on time. A bit too late, and maybe Puber could have probably blocked him there. Actually, it is LFT, since Puber is part of the main roster, so LFT is the guy standing in for Suicide Team right now, so sorry if I've been using the wrong name. As mentioned before, I've never watched Suicide Team play before, so Moses Wunda saying it's BZZ, not 633. Okay, so I'll just call him Biz then, or BZ. So repel from Blizzy, just trying to avoid the damage from the ice shards. Nothing big there anyway. I'm starting to wonder. Doom is level 4, 7.5 minutes in. He's going for the basic blades of attack to get those phase boots out, get some extra right-click damage. Also the movement speed combined with the Scorched Earth. Yeah, Scorched Earth, not Scorched Fire. Scorched Earth to get that extra movement speed and the health regen just to walk on top of your opponents and ensure getting that Doom out in time. We'll see if he will build into a Shadow Blade or into a Blink Dagger, since you've got so many varieties of builds on this Doom. Zajac trying to run away from the Quap, since he does have his ultimate, and he blinks into safety, but there's a chance for a small turn. The creeps do spot Zajac on the background as well. There's a kick onto 2, but it doesn't stun them for a long duration. Blizzy should be able to run this off and make his way back to safety. So, how's Gyro doing so far? He's 50 and 26, has that 1 kill from the start, and he is leading the net worth by 700 compared to the Void, and also ahead of this Quap by quite a lot actually. But at least what I was looking at Vega Squadron's late/mid game kind of heavy lineup. Also, not saying that Suicide Team doesn't have the same to respond to. They also got a good lineup for the mid game. They just need to execute their Chronosphere and the Quap ulti in time and synchronize through them. It's pronounced Zayats. Alright. My bad. So, Zayats and BZ. Will do. And we already got a smoke play here from Vanskar and Yol. Trying to make their way here as they are already clearing this stack for Palantimos. Finishing these last hits, their smoke finally breaks through, and Slayer does manage to block the ice shards, but does end up hit by the Maledict. Should be able to make his way out though. Shaklo also coming. Well, now he's definitely dead since the Void also makes his rotation here. So they're using 4 heroes to catch one tiny support here. And interestingly enough, there's also Earth Spirit moving here into this mid lane, so he didn't want to stay bottom to keep this push alive, though Omni and DK should be alright in the bottom lane, just pushing towards this tier 1 tower and maybe take it down. They've already used the glyph, should be the tower going down, uncontested completely, so Suicide Team with that 4-man rotation, we're kind of thinking maybe we should push mid, but didn't work in the way they were hoping for. LFT is starting to build this Battle Fury and getting a bit closer to it. Only needs the Demon Edge to finish off, but it's still about 2,000 away. Probably a 13-14 minute timer if this Void doesn't die. They have the Chrono, they have the ulti on Quap as well. They want to fight, but they're driven away as Vega Squadron make a couple TPs into the mid lane. Svanskar and Yol heading towards the top lane, and they still haven't taken a single tower on the side of Suicide Team, but maybe they'll start to make things happen. Meanwhile in mid, 633 barely makes his way, so yeah, BZ manages to blink away. Bane's almost level 6 as well, so once he has that Fiend's Grip, will help team fighting quite a lot. The only thing with Bane is you have a really short cast range with your abilities, so you need to position yourself really well to be able to catch. They're still staying around though. They want to take this tower down with the catapult, and BZ, Vanskar, throwing these shards in, but he's a bit afraid of going in since they have the manpower advantage here right now, as Doom is pushing the top lane. But now as this tower falls, there's a TP coming in from Void. Does he manage to get the Chrono out? He only catches Slayer. The rest of the Vega Squadron, they observe as this Bane ends up going down, so that's a kill, but they still get the tower down. So still looks like the better trade for Vega Squadron. Not too many kills though, as it's 3 to 4. But it looks like both teams, they still want to put their main points of the game into the mid game and into the late game. But already looking good for Vega as they're taking towers. It is an objective game, so the more you get objectives, of course, will always be the better. Shaklo, he does find Slayer here, and there's also LFT jumping in, does get the time dilation to slow down. There's a nice bash as well. There's the ulti though from Bane, and there's a 2-man silence as well. 3-man kick from Zajac. LFT manages to barely jump away, and so does BZ. He blinks out, but Shaklo might be the collateral damage here as Zajac using his ultimate onto the Doom. Shaklo, is he going to be able to walk away? No, he won't. Undershock gets that kill. So well done by Vega, turning around this fight, which looked like they might end up going down. Quap never got his ulti out because of the silence. So well played by Zajac as well there. Hard to do anything as a Quap when you're silenced, so they might have to consider something to purge it off, maybe like a Lotus Orb or something later on one of their teammates, but we'll see. Might not be the item of choice, and maybe silence isn't the biggest issue that they're facing in this game. Though it's 4 to 5, so it's still pretty tight comparing to score. LFT also trying to get this mid tower taken down as they are forfeiting away this top lane completely for Vega Squadron. They do still respect this glyph, as they don't have any vision behind. Shacklow is trying to make his way here. Blizzy, it's a lot of heal that he gets, and actually I'm missing that kill on LFT, who did end up going down there in the mid lane. But there's the Doom on Omni Knight. Blizzy is sure to go down. Palantimos does do harasses Shacklow by a bit. Svanskor does end up getting stunned, but Palantimos, he cannot find him. He doesn't know where he went. Manages to... oh, well played with the Sigil, actually leading him completely away from where Vanskor actually was, so manages to survive there. So, the mid tower still alive, and Void managed to die there. BZ, he's working on an Orchid, first item. Will leave the Quap fairly squishy, but if you just execute the Chronosphere Quap ulti in a good manner, you should be able to take some kills and make your opponent so weak that Quap doesn't even have to put himself into, position himself in a way that he'd be harmed that much. But it's up to Zajac if he can get those silences in time, maybe even get the stuns out from Bane and from DK as well. But it's still looking like a tight game. 3,000 net worth lead for Vega so far. XP still pretty tied. As Suicide Team, they are looking to pressure this mid lane once again. They're all lined up around here, hoping to find someone, but this bottom lane, Undershock popping his ultimate so they can start taking down this tier 2. Not sure if this is a very wise trade for Suicide Team. They need to start hitting this tower, maybe get some TPs back. They do end up finding Omni Knights in the trees, so they do get a tower, but Omni, he's just basically creating space here, using his Guardian Angel as well, so they interrupt the Witch Doctor ultimate instantly. Blizzy still making time, so Gyro managed to take down a tower at the same time as he was holding up. So that's what I call space created right there. BZZ. Alright, I'll try and drill that into my head. Zajac getting caught by the Ice Shards here. Svanskor chasing him down. Shacklow, nice two-man stun as well. DK, he's standing at the back, so Undershock could look for maybe a small turnaround here. He does throw out the Dragon Tail, and Zajac just rolling himself out. Svanskor completely out of mana as well, so Undershock just making sure that his teammate doesn't end up going down. LFT, he does have his Battle Fury finally up. Might have already had it for a minute or so, but just checking in that he has that ready now and should be farming a lot faster, but just don't know if he's still ready to fight properly, as he still needs one or at least 2 items to be very effective. DK is also making a Sanjin Yasha to get some more mobility, also make himself a bit more tanky and get those extra stats out as well. But this tier 2 tower is now taking a lot of damage as well, completely uncontested. Vanskor thinking about maybe interrupting this. We got the TP rotations as well. There's the snowball in, missing the Ice Shards though. Will they catch anyone? Blizzy, he still has that repel ready. So this... well, Omni Knight looks like he's gonna go down. Undershock, he still wants to fight though, so this is a 4 versus 3 situation. They throw the Doom out onto the Omni Knights, and BZZ chasing them down. Palantimos dropping fairly low. They got the Fiend Script out onto Shacklow, but there's the snowball save. Saving some time for now. Slayer, they get the kick out onto 2, and Shacklow and Vanskor go both down. Quap, well... Quap just trying to make his way out as well, so they lose 2 of the heroes. They did end up taking the DK down from the backline anyway, but a 2-for-1 trade. Going pretty tightly in favor of both teams. There was a great snowball save there to interrupt the brain sap. Not the brain sap, the Fiend Script of Slayer, who actually managed to time it really well there. They were just waiting and waiting and waiting, and then they finally got that chance that, okay, let's fight. So Undershock really wanted to pull off that fight and just turn around. Good kicks from Zajac as well, stunning too. And Palantimos is doing great. He's heading into... he's already got 10,000 net worth and taking this double stack plus its ancient double stack as well. Will start to get pretty farmed. He's already got a Linken's, has a Yasha ready as well. BZZ instead, he decided to change to the Yules, so he cancelled making that Orchid. So he has this at least done. So there's a smoke here by LFT. His smoke actually pops and Yol's too, but Vanscore is still smoked up, though they are scouted by this ward, so this gank kind of fails. Slayer with this Invis rune was capable of popping these smokes. For a moment it looked like he was smoked as well, but smart plays all around. Undershock, he's got he doesn't have any drum charges left. It's not the biggest issue necessarily, but Yol might get caught here. He's completely out of position. There's the Nightmare, and they will just leave him behind as a rocket follows up, and just look at him melt. He's gone. Palantimo's picking up another kill. So 19 minutes in, it's 7-10 for Vega Squadron, even though there was a small kind of a net worth graph change there. It still hasn't changed the way of how this game is going, as Vega, they're just constantly finding pickoffs. Vanscore, he will be the next target to go down. Dominating streak for Zajac so far. And Earth Spirit, who has been a part of 10 out of 11 kills so far, is making a big impact here so far. And this is an interesting pickup. I just want you to realize he's gone for the 40 damage instead of the 10 intelligence. Almost every time you see the 10 int being picked up, but there's the chrono from LFT, instantly stunned though, and he's completely alone. There's the ultimate from Bane as well, and LFT, he's gone, and might also be Yol dying a second time. No way he's gonna be running away from here. And you know, this might also look like going onto the high ground, since his 40 seconds void isn't, he's dead, he doesn't have a buyback. You could make a rotation to mid and maybe take the mid tower. There's also a DD rune here, so they could go for Roshan as they take down this high ground. But Zajac does a dive very deep, stunned as well by Undershock, and so Vanscore, goodbye, you're gone. And so is this tier 3 tower. This is looking all Vega Squadron written everywhere in this game so far. 7-14, and objectives taken all around the map. They are being held back though, as Doom is he is channeling that small tornado there in between the Vega Squadron lineup. But there's the tier 3 tower. How are they going to answer to this? BCZ just throws his dagger onto Palantimos, but he's already got 2k health. There's the call down with the Nightmare as well. Shaklo, he is the target of this cast. He's trying to cast this Doom out, but he doesn't get it out. Zajac gets a 2-man stun out. Is it going to be enough though? Doom barely making his way out there, but Quap BZZ barely jumps away as well. Palantimos being the target for this Witch Doctor ultimate. This fight is still going on. Void still at full health after that jump, but there's Doom thrown onto Blizzy. 3-man stun once again. Zajac, you're the man. He's making things happen. Vanscore falls. Yol to fall. BZZ has to blink away. Triple kill as Shaklo dies as well, and Rax going down onto the bottom lane. Vega Squadron just showing who's boss in this game. 8,000 already the net worth lead, and BZZ the next to go down. Another one dead for Undershock. Oh my goodness. This is not looking good at all for Suicide Team, as they did what they could. They used the Doom. They didn't even get to use the Chrono a single time, since Void couldn't really participate in this fight, so the moment he was in, he couldn't find a good spot for the Chrono, and that's pretty much it. Vega just constantly, they can find these pickoffs, and so they can win these team fights as well. Tier 2 tower taking a lot of damage. There's the rest of the Suicide Team lineup, as LFT pushing this bottom lane in. Glyph being forced as well. Void, he wants to get this Chrono out, but is Undershock too tanky of a target though? They get the Infernal Blaze. Nice charge as well. This should be DK going through. Look at that stun by Zajac once again. 4 guys stunned. There's the silence and also the magnetize. LFT goes down. BZZ trying to do as much as he can. Shaklo's the next target to go down. Also Vanscore, and there's the GG. Well played, as Vega Squadron just taking game 1 by storm. Oh my, what a game. Vega Squadron just taking every single pedestal on the high rankings board, as Suicide Team, they're just left behind to lick their wounds. And this was only game 1, man. We still got a second game coming up. We'll see if this is even gonna go to a third game. But as we're gonna leave it here, We're gonna go for a short break and come back after. So I'll play some music as we wait for game 2 to start, so don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Bucharest Major CIS Finals between Vega Squadron and Suicide Team. As Vega, they took Game 1 into their hands, and now we have a Game 2 at the next game that we will be watching. And the first game was very entertaining to watch, since it was very tight at the start. Even though Vega, they were constantly taking the objectives, they were making those pickoffs work really well. So every time they got a pickoff, they could work around the map a lot more, and just led to Suicide Team losing a lot of their map control all around, and kind of having to do this turtle or force 4 heroes to take on an objective or go for a pickoff. So anyway, thanks guys for all the follows and all the bits, especially all of you giving those five bits. Thanks for that. And I'm a part-time caster, so I'm still kind of practicing this thing. I've been doing casting here and there, but decided to kickstart my Twitch as well. I did a Twitter account today as well, so I'm still fairly new to all this stuff. But hey, thanks for all the support, and hopefully you guys enjoy the casting, and hopefully enjoy the game. That's the main point here. So, as this second game draft is already kicked right away, we've got the same bans all around, except Suicide Team now taking Bane out. So they don't want to play against this hero. They were doing a lot of good setups with the Bane, and I'm kind of surprised that Earth Spirit didn't end up getting banned, because holy crap, Zajac with those 3 to 4 man kick stuns, and also landing his magnetizes perfectly, getting those silences out just on time, so BZZ couldn't use his ultimate on Quap. So yeah, we probably have a great Game 2 here. But looking like the same pick so far, this time Doom being picked first for Vega Squadron and Witch Doctor for Suicide Team. Maybe they're going to look for a different approach here, as Doom was playing on Suicide Team last time, and Shaklo just couldn't do that much with Doom. He didn't really get his items on time. He was pretty late on the phase boots as well. That kind of tells that you had a hard lane, even though Vanskor was trying to help out with Tusk just to enable that Doom could stay in lane, and if something happens he can always roll into the assistance. Shadow Shaman though being picked up by Vega Squadron, so adds some nice aggression to your laning phase, and especially if you have that other support you can play aggressive with, will certainly lead to a lot of pickoffs and a lot of pressure on whatever lane they're going to be pressuring on. And then you have the defensive counter, as you have Tusk picked again by Suicide Team, so they're not changing too much about their draft. We could maybe see a similar draft they went for in the previous game, but we'll see. We'll see how this heads forward, as Razor this time, which was banned in the first phase, is taken out now in the second phase. Both teams still got a fair amount of time to think what they're going to be banning here and what they're going to be picking for their second phase. Since Bane is out, we won't be necessarily seeing Undershock playing Mirana. So I was thinking he could have fitted it pretty well in the previous matchup. He's a very good Mirana player, so I mean he could still play it even without the Bane. So why not? Lycan, which seems to be a very strong hero in the meta right now, taken out as well with the Omni Knight from Suicide Team. Though there are a couple offlane heroes that are banned here, not necessarily gonna be the same offlane pick from Suicide Team this time, as they had Bane in the previous game. Sorry, the Doom in the previous game, and Omni Knight. But I don't know, it's hard to just shout out random heroes of how you're going to be building your draft, since Vega Squadron do like that mid-game kind of pressure. Their early game was playing pretty well, as they were focusing more on the objectives and just making your opponents run around the map and then punish if someone gets mispositioned. And then in the mid-game they kind of like hit the next gear and start either going very aggressive onto your opponent, looking for those smoke ganks, find kills through that, and then go for objectives. But neither team were fighting around Roshan at all. There was no need for Roshan in the game at all. Well, DK will make another appearance for Undershock here. He played a good DK there because you have that tanky front laner that you can just use with the Blink Dagger just to jump in, get that stun out, or just pop your ultimate and turn around and stun as well and just go for a turnaround through that. And Shadow Shaman is one of those heroes that works really well in sync with Dragon Knight, especially a very dangerous support when you have Blink Dagger on Shadow Shaman, depending on the timing that you get it with. Shadow Fiend, though, might be a thing here, since Suicide Team, they had one of their supports starting straight away on the bottom lane, so they might put 2 heroes this time in mid. Manscore was playing with Tusk the last time, but now you kind of have to protect your Shadow Fiend from being too aggressive. If you're on the other side of the river, Shadow Fiend is most likely to end up going down, so you have to get there in time. You really need to cooperate with your supports, that how quickly you're going to be able to get there. Can you still save me? Can you roll in with your snowball and follow up with the casks as well? But when you have 2 TPs coming in the mid lane, one of the supports will be late, so you need to prioritize which hero is going to be there first. Is it going to be the Tusk to TP first next to the tower, get your Shadow Fiend inside the snowball, Witch Doctor follows up when his TP is finished, and then jump on your opponent? But if you mess up these small kind of TP rotations, it can make your initiation a whole lot harder.
10 seconds to pick.
But Batrider will give some pick-off potential for Suicide Team. Now they just kind of need that one hero that could do a lot of hitting, maybe something that spends his time farming a bit more. Probably even go for some combo with Shadow Fiend, depending on the build that he's going for, since we see a lot of Yules, BKB, Octarine type Shadow Fiends. Well, Octarine core is not very advisable as a Shadow Fiend. It's more based on getting most of your magical damage out and focusing on getting pickoffs with the Yules, just throwing your opponent in the air and just throwing that Spirit Bomb. But with the Batrider, it's not necessary that you go for it. You can also use your Shadow Fiend ulti just for dropping the DPS of your opponent, since it does do that minus 50% damage reduction debuff for the time being. Also the movement slow, which is really nice. We still got the last banning phase though, and Vega Squadron this time have the last pick of the draft. I like this ET pickup though, because it does give you a nice setup with the heroes that you have. Doom can also initiate with his Doom using Shadow Blade or just blinking in and getting your target. DK has the same capability, Shadow Shaman as well. So you've got a lot of early game push, you've got that mid game pick-off potential, and I mean you've also got the high ground defense with the ET support. So they still kind of, I don't know what they're kind of missing here in this draft from Vega, because it's looking pretty well rounded so far. And Suicide Team, maybe something like a Lifestealer could work here for their lineup and just maul his way through. Also a Timber Saw could maybe work, but I'm not sure if it's going to be the hero that they want to go for, since you've got a lot of strength heroes against you. Drop their health pools with the attribute reduction from the Whirling Death. So DK, not the one who suffers most of it, but Doom and ET, certainly heroes that might fall pretty quickly to it. Problem with Timber, if you get doomed, you're really messed up. You just can't do absolutely anything with that hero at that point. So you might even think about maybe getting that squishier hero, but Lifestealer does end up getting banned, so won't be picked by Suicide Team here, and PL is the last ban answer from Suicide Team, so Vega doesn't pick that one up. Bloodseeker could also work for Vega Squadron, but since Suicide Team won't be getting the Lifestealer, I'm still thinking what they could possibly go for here. CK is, I mean, some of you are suggesting CK and some are saying Jug. I mean, CK could work okay here, since you get that extra stun for your team as well, and CK you can farm up pretty well using your Phantasm in the jungle with the level 1 if you get a good proc. I mean, if you've prayed to the RNGesus, you might as well get another illusion and farm up a lot faster, get your items quicker, and still use those illusions for pushing and finding some kills. Reality Rift is also great if you want to enclose your opponents a lot faster, but Luna will be the pickup by Suicide Team here, and that will certainly give them more of that creep wave push, team fight capability, and also add some nice damage for Shadow Fiend if Luna is also nearby. Also, the early game laning phase will be a lot easier with the extra damage that Luna gives to your teammates.
10 seconds to pick.
What Vega want though, as PL got banned, I'm not sure what kind of heroes Palantimos plays, but I'm still kind of feeling that Bloodseeker here, but I don't know. You should become a coach. Oh hell no, I'm really not coach material here. I'm still practicing myself as well. Just so all of you guys know, I'm still a part-time caster and just studying in the university and practicing this stuff, so I'm not necessarily the most how do you call it when you know a lot of stuff, if you're knowledgeable, how to say. Anyway, Palantimos will be playing Void here, so adds that nice team fight add to their team as well. Just thinking about how they're gonna sync with the Void, since, well, I mean, Void can get solo pickoffs with his Chronospheres, so since this is that kind of hero, how position 1 is gonna be building the Void, he wants to max out his damage output and find those kills through the chrono, maybe even zone your opponents and just find some kills through that. It's a bit different from the offlane Void, where you just want to help your team and get more of that sync with the heroes that you have, like we had Queen of Pain in the previous game, so you have the Quap ulti to combine, but yeah. You're honest, that's rad. Well, I mean, I try to. That's a trait a lot of us Finnish people have. We're always honest about how we think. But anyway, game 2, as Vega took game 1, we'll head to player introductions from Vega. We have Zajac playing Elder Titan, under Shock with the mid DK, Slayer playing Shadow Shaman support, Blizzy with the offlane Doom, and of course safe lane Palantimos on the Void, where we have Suicide Team Sheklo on Batrider, Vanscore of course playing Tusk once again, BZZ playing Shadow Fiend in the mid lane, Yol with the support Witch Doctor, and LFT playing the safe lane Luna. Same warding strategies as last time, placing both of these observer wards here in the mid lane. And interestingly enough, they put a rather defensive observer ward here on the Radiant side to show more vision onto Doom's side, so Doom kind of wants to be careful about if someone's coming behind, so it enables you to farm these two camps here, as you want to take the hard camp and the medium camp into your control when you're out of lane and want to get some extra farm and keep your farm at pace. And Sheklo, he's doing the right thing, as we've seen more and more often the offlaner picking up the first creep wave. This is how you play your offlaner. You just kind of want to be somewhere around here, take the creep wave and take it all the way under your tier 1 tower and instantly hit level 2 through that. He's already using his Firefly, and Palantimos does realize this, but the damage from this Firefly should be enough to get the pull happening here, and so Sheklo does exactly what he's supposed to. Blizzy doing the same thing here, Yol just trying to slow him down a bit, but with this Scorched Earth and the Tango running up, the 24.5 health regen is just way too much, and there's nothing he can do about it. BZZ though, he's facing a tri-lane mid, so like Sumail once tweeted, tri-lane me mid, Vanscore might actually set up a kill for BZZ, who ends up pulled in with the shards, so Zajac getting the first blood on ET here. Shadow Fiend the first to fall. I hope the stream's not lagging for you guys. It seems to be lagging for a bit for me, but hopefully not that much. Vanscore, oh dear, double kill for Zajac. Vega continuing where they left game 1. And this is already a great win for this tri-lane here in the mid lane. So Yol thinking about coming to the mid lane, but he's already scouted. He's probably being pinged out already by this ward here. This is a very excellently placed ward, so it's not only this time helping Blizzy, but also giving information to their team that there's a rotation coming into the mid lane, so you gotta be careful. He's still not level 2 on Doom, so it will take some time until he gets that Devour and get some extra farm as well. Luna's kind of having a very good lane tranquility here as he's keeping the lane in place. It's exactly what you're supposed to do here. Shacklo forced away from lane as Palantimos has... He's actually leveled time dilation on level 2, so knowing that there's 2 cooldown abilities on Batrider that he's going to be using quite a lot just to slow him down and get some extra harass out instead of going for the stun. Meanwhile, mid lane, BZZ in trouble once again. Undershock picking up a kill. Vanscore with the haste rune. Well, he can only dish out a couple hits onto Zajac, but he's in no way he's going to be taking this kill. He just simply can't. So Shadow Fiend back to square one as he's got 1 soul. He still hasn't got the second one. He's really gonna need those souls to start getting this Shadow Fiend on, and it's looking like a very rough start for Suicide Team. 3-0 for Vega already 2.5 minutes in. Palantimos picking up his boots from the side shop, and Sheklo's getting a lot more farm this time as compared to the previous game where he was having a rough time with his Doom. He's getting a lot more with his Batrider. 11-2 so far. Blizzy's picked up some extra armor by eating this Wild Wing Ripper. He actually finds a more preferable one with the Satyr. And yeah, thanks for the donation. Sorry for the announcement sounds. I wasn't expecting this many viewers for this stream, so I kind of left them on. I didn't realize, but hey, anyway, back to the game. Vanscore making his way here into the mid lane to help out BZZ. He's level 3, and so is Undershock, and Slayer making BZZ's life a lot harder since he does have that nice 77 right-click damage, making Shadow Fiend's life a lot harder to get these last hits out as he is missing so many souls. Well, he's got 11 now, so slowly trying to get back on. Meanwhile, in top lane, Zajac, he's pulled off some extra damage from the Astral Spirit and harassing y'all away from lane. Blizzy also having a good time here as he just picked up the raindrops. He's waiting for his Infernal Blade to get off cooldown, and so he might find y'all, but well, they go though. There's the cast follow-up. Blizzy, he's healing up pretty well though. Nice body blocks by Vanscore, but that's all he can do. So they're all just forced back as Zajac using that Astral Spirit to get these stuns out. Just slowing down by quite a lot. BZZ. It's up to 14 last hits now, but there's a rotation coming in. There's the shackles in. Is their damage going to be enough, though? There's only a level 1 Breathe Fire, so it might not be enough. And here's the first raise. It's going to be a second one, and should be a kill as Yol picks up the right click, almost landing that stun as well. Zajac just a bit too late. And there's the first kill for Suicide Team, getting themselves on the board after 4.5 minutes. Palantimos having a great time here with 32 last hits, only a couple denies as well, but it doesn't really matter because he's fighting against the Batrider. If you focus too much on denying while standing in Firefly and getting those napalm stacks, it might end up you losing your life. So playing defensively and just going for the last hits that he needs to. Oh god. Okay. Just give me a second. I'm gonna take the Streamlabs sounds off so we don't get more of this noise happening here. Just un momento, I'm very sorry. Let me put the sounds off for the subs. There we go. And whoops, there's a wrong button there. Alright, that should do. And of course, when something is happening, when I'm doing something else, Luna ends up going down, so LFT ends up dead. Blizzy picking up a kill. It's actually a solo kill for him, so that's a huge kill on the opponent's safe lane carry. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, BZZ ends up going down. Slayer might fall as well, still tanking the tower, and so he dies. Goes as a split to the entire Dire team. Zajac gonna stomp Shacklo, get the stun, almost landing the shards as well. Vanscore just a bit off target. Not the type of Jerax Tusk we're used to seeing, where he's always landing these insanely good ice shards to block your opponents, but hey. Well, Undershock doesn't seem to be taking much damage from these raises, so he's fine, but Zajac, he's picked up an Invis rune, and this could be scary since SF, he's only level 4. They're looking to get this. He needs to be careful, though. There's the snowball onto Slayer. Vanscore a bit out of position as well. Zajac gets his stun out, so Vanscore's stuck for the moment. Undershock pretty low on mana, does have that soul ring though, so enough to kill Vanskor. There's the shackles as well onto BZZs. It's gonna be enough. Shackle also making his way. There's the lasso as well. Who's gonna die first? Shaman ends up going down to the tower. Undershock goes down, and so BZZ is the next target to fall. So 2-for-1 trade for Vega Squadron. That was a bit more action than what I was anticipating on the first check, but 2 kills for Vega and Shadow Fiend dead as well. 2 kills for Suicide Team, and of course Shadow Fiend the only one to what am I saying? 2-for-2 trade. Oh god, don't listen to me at all. Just focus on the game. You probably know better than what I do. Anyway, Zajac, he's been on point once again with 2 kills and 4 assists. Hasn't died a single time. He's playing as the roamer you want on your team, making things happen over game after game. Blizzy, the next target. Here's Ajax and Slayer. They're already here though. They use the Doom on Luna. But Vanskor, well, he saves his carry. Will end up going down here. Even though the casks were slowing down a bit, as Yol also made his movement here, Vanskor is the target that ends up going down. But these constant support rotations means that Palantimos, he's just having a completely free lane here, so Vanskor used to be good. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying he's not good now, but Vanskor used to be like really great, but he's still a good player. I like watching him. Undershock having a small T-Tors moment like me as well, probably looking on some other lane as he's missing CS. LFT just get stomped though. Blizzy, level 3 Infernal Blade's gonna hurt quite a lot, but there goes the Luna ultimate. There's a creep wave at the same time though, so pretty wasted there from LFT. Bad timing, but a good attempt anyway. Vanskor and Yol are here to back him up. 80 seconds until Doom's gonna be online the next time, so they will pass the opportunity of harassing more in the top lane. Maybe look for something else. Shadow Fiend's having a rough time here. He's got 2,700 net worth. He's 600 behind Undershock's DK. Will need to work a bit more. Maybe get some help from his teammates too. But you just really can't harass this DK a lot. You've already got 2 points on Dragon Blood. Does give you a nice amount of armor, nice amount of health regen. And since most of the damage on Suicide's team is physical, putting more points into that Dragon Blood will just make you very, very tanky. Blizzy's also gone for a very smart harassy build. He's only put 1 point in Scorched Earth, where you usually see more points being put in. He's only put 1 and has 3 points in the Infernal Blade instead. LFT catching Doom here, but we've got some TP rotations coming in to the bottom lane. So Vanskor holding Vega Squadron on place, but this ward has already scouted out this movement from Shacklo and Yol. They won't get this tower though, even though they have the ulti on DK being used, but doesn't have the damage items yet to do so much damage to take that tower down really quickly. They will just force themselves away. Luna's farms, not that great. He's still working on a Mask of Madness 10 minutes in, so he's only got Power Treads and Aquila. Is 4th on the net worth so far. So that means he's almost 1,500 behind this Void, who's probably going to have a bit of a better timer with the Battle Fury than what LFT had in the previous game. BZZ's getting some last hits now. He's got 44 compared to Undershock's 54. Yol smoked up here. Shacklo and LFT making their way to the top lane. Zajac does pop Yol's smoke, and so instantly Blizzy and Zajac, they move under the safety of their own tier 1 tower just to keep themselves safe as they notice this smoke rotation. Palantimos going in on Vanskor here using the Chronosphere. Slayer waiting to get those shackles out. He does, and this should be an easy kill. Does end up going as a split, so little Jimmy right here gets the last hit here. Shacklo a bit late for the rotation. And that's exactly how you want to use this Chrono. If you have the opportunity, when you know about your opponents that something's happening, oh dear, LFT also dead now, and Yol being chased. BZZ looking for an opportunity to walk in. There's the creeps blocking y'all a bit, but he doesn't know where to go. He's blocked from both sides. Zajac picking up a double kill, and the rest of this is probably just going to be him trying to create space. Well, that's all he can do. Losing his dominating streak to Vanscore, so not even BZZ picking up the last hit. They could have maybe coordinated a bit better since they knew that this is going to be a kill. So maybe a bit of panic already showing on the side of Suicide Team, they've been doing a great. They've had a great run so far in the CIS qualifiers, as they beat Empire 2-1. They were second in their own group phase, and now in the finals they just don't seem to match up against Vega Squadron. But I think it's pretty much because Suicide Team, they just got scouted by Vega Squadron, so Razor, which is the hero of impact on their team, banned in both games. They won't be able to pick that, so they have to force into their alternative drafts. Shaco still making his force staff here, as he's still a bit far away from that. And this is getting even more common on the DK to go on the drums instead of the armlet. Add some of that pushing power and also some fighting capability for your team. Here we have Palantimos, has already Battle Fury under 13 minutes, so that's a good timer there. LFT pushing this tier 1 in the bot lane, so they are probably going to be trading towers here. TP is still on cooldown for Luna for a couple seconds, but it will be up. Yol doesn't have a TP though, and Shaklo, but look at this rotation coming in. They get the stomp onto BZZ, and he is sure to fall here. There's the shards off target. Earth Splitter as well on its way. Goodbye, BZZ, as Zajac fires away and splits the ground in half. Undershock still hasn't revealed his item of choice here, as, well, some kind of trade as LFT and Shaklo get the kill on Palantimos. You gotta be very, very accurate with the timer on how to kill your opponent's avoid, since you can always time walk away after. So you need to land those stuns on time, and also find that right opening. Like, when has he used his time walk, or when does he want to use his time walk, and then just get the lasso right after, or during, or before. Lizzie forcing Shaklo away. He does have a haste rune in his bottle, but BZZ just wants to farm up some souls since he's missing a couple after that last death. Vanscore also farming here in the jungle. He's got 4 deaths and hasn't had that big of an impact in this game compared to the last one. Shaklo making his way to the bottom lane as Undershock. There's also Zajac. It's a very risky jump in Slayer, trying to find a spot for the shackles, but juking his way through the trees. This Batrider will survive for the time being and make his way out. Undershock, he has also got some great farm so far, as he's got another 1500 gold in his bank. We'll see. Oh goodness, I thought I put off all the well, anyway. Oh, it was a host. Oh, thanks for the host, by the way. Nice to get some recognition here. Thank you so much for the support and everything. But anyway, there's still TP. Where did he TP? Actually, he went to the mid lane, so Undershock building a Shadow Blade next, working on that item. Will allow him to initiate more sneakily next time. And Shaklo still working on his Force Staff. All of these items on Suicide Team, they're kind of behind. As you can see from here, Luna's still working on a Yasha. He does have a Mask of Madness. Batrider finally has his Blink as well, so that will help them a bit. But they're now smoked up and they're looking for something. But Zajac, Slayer, they're also smoked. They're going to walk right into this. They get the shackles out. There's the they get the stuns onto 2. And Elder Titan should be going down here, as he is completely isolated. And so that kills, but ends up going down. Alright, just give me a sec. I'm going to get rid of that hosting sound. There we go. Yeah, just to say again, I wasn't expecting this many viewers to be here, so this is completely new to me, but Palantimos getting the Chronosphere onto BZZ. He does end up stunned by Yol as well. There's a nice Centaur stomp by Blizzy, getting both of them, and BZZ goes down, and so does Yol. That's a killing spree on Blizzy, and 2 more heroes dead on the side of Suicide Team. Shaklo being chased by Slayer, instantly realizes he's there though, so doesn't quite get that catch, but this is an interesting build by Slayer. 0 points in Hex, you're not even getting that 1 value point, what you need. You've got 3 points on your Ether Shock, and of course, maxing the duration of your Shackles, because this has been such a key spell here throughout this game. He's been part of 9 of the 14 kills, he's making a lot of things happen for Vega Squadron. Well, why do you need Hex if you can just max your Shackles and get some extra burst with the Ether Shock? Anyway, these wards doing their work. Hitting onto this tower, might end up going down. Let's see. Oh, goodness. Looks like my stream is freezing a bit. Anyway, Undershock getting hit by this Witch Doctor. Ultimate has that Maledict on as well. Just get the stun onto Shaklo. Centaur stumped as well. There's the Earth Spiller hitting onto 4. Just slowing down the entire Dire team, but they are still looking for more. They've got the DK. They want to get Blizzy. They will. Finally, some kind of answer from Suicide Team after being on the receiving end of this game for such a long time. And now, getting these 2 pickoffs, they get a lot of experience actually. That's 2k of what most are going to the supports of Suicide Team, and this might be a tier 1 tower also going down as they pretty surely take this. And meanwhile, Yol sees the opening, goes for some aggressive warding to get some idea where their opponents are moving, but Zajac, you don't quite see him. Now they do. Shaklo, a bit off target. Using that Firefly with the Napalm stacks. That's another death for Zajac. He just died, and now he died once again. So even more pickoffs for Suicide Team. And of course, they really need these kills to get this Luna online, who's getting closer to that Manta. Needs a couple more 100 as well to finish it. That actually means that he is catching up Void pretty well. There's still a 1000 difference between these 2 heroes, so that's the Battle Fury Yasha compared to the Mask of Madness Yasha. But you're not gonna build a Battle Fury in Luna. That would be absurd. I don't think I've ever seen that happen before. Slayer, he's gone for a medallion, so will help them take Roshan a lot faster. Also reduce damage. Well, he does have that lasso. Will he use it? Yeah, he doesn't even need to. That was a calculated kill there. Pretty ballsy as well, as might have been able to escape. Blizzy and Palantimos, though, they do have the Chrono. They have the Doom as well. But they have no vision whatsoever in this jungle. But Zajac and Undershock, well, no wards on ET, so just going for another blind run, trying to look for something. Meanwhile, Shaklo, LFT, Yol, they're expecting them to be in the Roshan pit, so they're stacking around. They actually go for a smoke here. We'll see how this ends up. Undershock is the target they want to get. He just goes invis. Do they have detection to find this hero? Where's your detection, boys? Undershock gets away after Shaklo using his lasso, so that's a waste. That's a complete waste lasso, and also they get the idea of where they're rotating right now. So here is the answer. Vega going for a smoke. I'm not sure did Blizzy get scouted out though, because there's an observer ward here. They are pinging out locations, but they're going straight into the Roshan pit, using the wards for taking a look at this Roshan just going down really quickly with the Medallion of Courage and the wards just hitting, doing so much damage. Undershock and Blizzy, they do end up getting thrown out of the pit with Shaklo. Is he going to go for a ballsy? Oh, he goes for a little visit to the Roshan pit just to get an idea of how low it's going to be and just force the rest of Vega out. Yol might get picked up here. Undershock getting the stun out. BZZ on the high ground with his invis. Palantimos looking for an opportunity to go for the Chrono. When is he going to use it? Undershock, there's the Luna ultimate as well. Undershock ends up going down already. Palantimos has to go away. He doesn't want to go in, but there's the snowball. Doesn't quite land on time, but they're still looking for more. as there's Blizzy getting the stun onto 2 and getting Doom as well onto Luna. Luna's forced away out of the fight. Vanscore's going down. BCC, they're all in trouble on Suicide Team. There's another. He does get his ultimate out though in time. How's this fight gonna end up? Yol's the next one to fall. 3 dead on both sides, and so Suicide Team forced to walk away. BZZ is so low he couldn't go back into the fight, so they can now probably finish off this Roshan. A lot of damage done on both sides, but as he used that chrono, they lost Undershock at the same time, and Palantimos didn't know should they go in or should they not. BZZ, Shacklo, they're still contesting this. They want to hold this. Roshan is really low though. It's at 1100 health right now, so which team wants to go for this? Ajax wanted to go for the stun, ends up getting lassoed. 6-3, yeah, BCZ. Well, there's the stun on Shacklo. Ice shards coming in. Shacklo over. Half of his health is lost so far. There's the short shackles on Vanscore, but BZZ just gets that kill right away, and Undershock's in trouble. His way is blocked out. No way of escape, and Suicide Team just pulling it off. It's triple kill for BZZ, and so this Roshan will go, well, Blizzy still doesn't want to give this away, but the rest of Suicide Team is here. 4 heroes dead on the side of Vega Squadron, and this is a big Roshan, and this is what Suicide Team needed, this is what they wanted, and this is what they get. They get the Roshan, they get several kills on their side, and so Suicide Team, they're back in the game. This is far from over. Zajak's item of choice will be Rod of Aetos next. Only needs the recipe to finish it off. With all the money that they got on the side of Suicide Team, there will be a Yules coming from Batrider. Witch Doctor still hasn't thought about what he's gonna go for next. Probably just gonna buy some detection like last time when Undershock got away. So you need to get that dust, maybe even an early gem as well, to get that necessary detection. Shadow Fiend is also going for a Manta build, so he does have drums. He's got the Shadow Blade, Aguila, Power Treads, so why not go for a Manta as well for some juking abilities. There's a lot of abilities you can juke, so well, Hex is not one of them though, but at least dispel some of the debuffs. For example, on Void, you need to get that time dilation off. BKB is one option, but might as well just get a Manta. Also adds some farming speed and also pushes a lot better as well with that item. LFT instead, we haven't looked at this guy for a moment. He's at 260 last hits, 24 minutes in, so Luna is almost bypassing Void at this point. Has that Aegis as well, so they can probably go and take a tower at some points as well. And going for a Butterfly next. Meanwhile, bottom lane Slayer should be able to get away since BZZ doesn't have a Yules or anything to interrupt that TP. He'll just TP himself out. Vanscore, though, has bought himself a fresh Blink Dagger. And this is something we spoke about in the first game, where you can use your Blink Dagger to just blink in and snowball to save your teammate from something big that's going to happen. For example, Earth Splitter, or from Shackles, or something where you're just completely hopeless. If Force Staff isn't enough, you can just blink in and save your teammate. But there is also the risk that you'll end up leading your teammate into trouble if you put them in the snowball and just misposition both of yourselves and just get everyone killed, since you don't have a hero like Void on your team to follow up with a Chronosphere. Kind of like bait your opponents that we're coming in with a snowball, but we're also coming with a Chronosphere. LFT might be a bit deep here, but he's got his teammates to back him up. Palantimos hitting onto this tier 2 tower and the top lane, so they already lost their bot tier 2, but will probably, well, they forced the glyph, and Suicide Team are looking for a lane of racks. They want to stay here in this top lane, and already Shacklo with the Firefly. Well, he's going the straight way. He's not even attempting to go around, making that kind of alpha scare move that I'm the guy with the muscles, you better be careful for me. They force the glyph, do some damage on the tower, and instantly back away. They respect the ultis that Vega Squadron have with the Earth Splitter and the Chronosphere being a lot of trouble if they end up hit by both. I was kind of expecting that Zajac could have maybe gone for a Aghanims, but I wouldn't think Aghanims is too good too early in the game. So it's more of that late game item, kind of a luxurious item that you want to get later on in the game.
Got it.
LFT, he has disassembled his Mask of Madness. Oh, well, Yol gets picked off here as I was looking somewhere else. But yeah, he disassembled his Mask of Madness to get that butterfly. It is a smart move as well, since you don't want to put your hero in too much. Let's say you don't put your hero in peril if you have Mask of Madness on, since you kind of have to use your abilities first and then Mask of Madness right after. It does take a bit off from your pushing power, but Butterfly is also a great pushing item as well, so why not just disassemble that and ignore the fact that you won't be taking that much damage as you would with the Mask of Madness on. E.T., he has decided to go for a Yules, and we see a MKB coming up on DK. Will they defend this though, since Roshan has been picked around 5 minutes ago, so only a couple seconds left on this Aegis. So LFT needs to watch his positioning here because, well, Vega, they realize that this Aegis is gonna expire any second now. Fall back onto their high ground, and as soon as this Aegis expires, he just instantly starts running backwards. Doesn't want to put himself at risk. Meanwhile, Slayer putting a Tinker Ward here on the high ground to get some extra vision around this tier 2 tower, just to see if there's anyone going to TP in. Well, he's going to TP his way back, and Shaklo, he's well positioned here. There's no vision about him. They do see BZZ, but that's all that they see right now. But Vega just waiting here on the high ground. They don't want to risk this. As BZZ finishes off the tower, and that it leaves to one only tier 2 tower left on the side of Vega Squadron, and also they take down that bottom tier 2 tower with the wards of the Shadow Shaman. I want to take that panda home. Sorry, not this time. It's pretty cold here in Finland, but I'll survive. Alright, so we have a 4-man smoke from Vega Squadron, and they've lost the last 2 fights that they've had. So they need to get things properly here. As if they can get the Earth Splitter combined with the Chronosphere, that can do a lot of harm for Suicide Team. They're looking towards this high ground, but they have no vision over anyone at the moment. Now BZZ, he does pop Slayers. Oh, that's a close call, but nothing will happen here, and the situation diffuses itself. Looks like they have a gem on the Batrider now, so they checked with the Napalm if there's any ward on the high ground. Instantly smoke right after, and this is something you might want to write in your notebooks. Like if you pop your opponent's smoke and nothing actually happens, you can just go for a direct smoke right after. Usually works. We'll see how it happens this time. Pretty good positioning here for Vega Squadron. They're walking themselves back. They're leaving the Shadow Fiend to farm on the lane Shaklo. He doesn't quite know where Zajac is moving, and it's also pretty deep to go as well, so doesn't want to follow that deep. Palantimos is also working on a MKB, so you've got double the pure damage proc and also the true strike, well, 75% hit chance, which is also pretty good, since they realized this butterfly that gives a nice 35% evasion. They want to make sure that every single hit counts. Pop the cherry. Yeah, that's the one. Shadowblade is the next item for Shaklo. It's interesting to see a Shadowblade Batrider. I haven't seen that happen too often. And Yol wants to get himself a Ghost Scepter, which is the basic support item against physical damage. Well, we're heading into a small Resident Sleeper phase. Oh, wait, nope, nothing happening here. Yes, as I was saying, we have this kind of Resident Sleeper moments in the game as both teams are just focusing on farm, and Vega's early game kind of aggression has halted as you see not necessarily fear, but also respect that you've lost your last 2 team fights. How are you going to fight around this? Will you just wait for Roshan, who has respawned, has a cheese as well? Shacklo, though, does get the Yules. Onto ET, there's the Rod of Aegis as well, using the lasso at the same time. BZZ makes his appearance as well. Zajac goes down, and a wicked 6 streak is ready for BZZ. And with that one pickoff, will Vega respond on Y'all here in the mid lane? Palantimos almost jumping on the spot. You can see from the map, someone's closing up. That is LFT. They check that Roshan is up, but no actual fight ever takes place. Scotty for Luna. Not bad. Just add some more tankiness to this hero, and also the slows work really well in sync with the rest of the heroes on the side of Suicide Team. But it's really, I mean, this is still anybody's game. Both teams have the what they want to use for team fights. They're both contesting Roshan right now, and this is a very big Roshan as well, because either team that ends up losing this team fight might have to force their buybacks out, and there's only 2 on both sides, the Batrider and the Shadow Fiend, DK and the Doom. There's a smoke play from Suicide Team. They're going smartly around. They don't want to go straight into the mid lane. But will they find Undershock? Yes, they do. There's the nice lasso in with the Luna ultimate. Chrono onto 3, though. Undershock is dead. There's the Shadow Fiend ultimate as well. Zajac is down. LFT ends up getting doomed, but there's the snowball save for the time being. Blizzy might end up going down as well. Just looking like a disaster for Vega Squadron. Luna's dead, though, but so are 4 heroes of Vega Squadron. And both heroes that do have their buybacks are dead. And this means Roshan for Suicide Team. Once again, they took the previous Roshan. They will take this one as well into their own hands. They have built their morale throughout this game as they started roughly. Vega kept on going where they left the first game, and then Suicide Team just finding these small openings and punishing Vega Squadron for them, and now these team fights have been pristine. What was most important in that fight was that BZZ wasn't inside the Chronosphere. He was somewhere else, and he got his ultimate out, and he was able to dish out so much damage. But no buybacks are forced for now, but cooldowns are spent on both teams. So, oh my goodness. Well, there's an E-Blade on the way for Shadow Fiend. He's got about 6,500 gold. I can't even believe where this game is going, since it looked like a Vega stomp, but this is just completely different to what I expected this game to be. Palantimos is also working on a butterfly to boost up some of his farm as well, and maybe benefit from that evasion. Always these late game evasion items are very good. Also late game Shadow Blades are great as well. Vanskor has that Lotus Orb pickup, which can be very effective, protecting your Shadow Fiend from getting doomed. Same for the Luna, but looks like Luna's the target for the Doom, since he didn't have his Scotty in the previous fight. He will have it now. Might even look like a Scotty and then a Satanic after, since now both of these items stack since the previous patch. Getting that lifesteal and other attack or unique attack modifiers, which don't actually exist anymore in the game, so having both of these items on Luna are now great. Usually you had to kind of think about going for either one, but now you can make both. What is the game plan for Squadron, though? There's a Halberd on Doom, which is good. You also have the Doom itself for putting Luna out of the game. I haven't seen this Chronosphere Earth Splitter combination happen. Maybe once, but not at all. But already Suicide Team leading the way and finding Undershock once again. BZZ gets his ultimate out, and Palantimos is forced to jump away, and this might mean the first lane of Rax. There's a buyback from Undershock, and they are looking to initiate onto this fight. There's the Hex. Slayer doesn't get his shackles out. There's the Chrono hitting onto 2. How can they save Luna? Can they? No, they can't. He's spent, and there's the Earth Splitter as well, but it doesn't quite connect Vanscore saving some time with the snowball. And maybe, are they still wanting to go in? BZZ throwing his hits out. Blizzy does end up getting hit by the Maledict, but he has a lot. Well, he doesn't have a lot of armor, but he has a big health pool to deal with. And, well, the last Maledict tick isn't quite enough to take him out. So it's a 1-for-1 trade and a tier 3 tower. So shrines are now available for Suicide Team. At this rate, it's going to look like a game 3, guys. And the more the merrier. Always a pleasure to cast games like these, which are tight and intense, and always go to the last game of the series. I loved the first game, liking the second one as well. 37 minutes into the game, it's 20-25, and still Suicide Team keeping the net worth lead and also experience by quite a lot. So here you can check the levels quickly, as ET is still level 14, doesn't have his level 3 ultimate, which would add an extra damage boost to his ultimate. Vanscore, he's going for the right items. He just wants to boost up his team, so he's going for a Vlad's, and a Vlad's will be great for Luna and Shadow Fiend, which are both heroes who emphasize on getting more damage through physical damage, and also with the raises, and also the damage reduction that Shadow Fiend gives from his ultimate. So it will be interesting to see if he decides to go for a Silver Edge. Meanwhile, top lane though, Vega picking up 2 kills here as Tusk and Batrider both go down, and that actually means a gem lost. So Blizzy gets the gem from the Batrider, and that is actually a big drop here. They might even force the buyback from Tusk here, as they're looking to push this top wave in. The creep wave is still a bit far away though. They're actually going straight for mid, and they want to take this this tower down. With the help of ET's Astral Spirit, they can just slow down Suicide Team. But they do clear all of the wards, but the damage has been done. They take down that tier 3, and so both team shrines are now open. So, oh, whoa. What is this? What is this graph going back all the way? So it's only about 1,000 now, actually, for Suicide Team. So these 2 kills and losing the gem just made a huge difference into the net worth graph. But just a small notice, like when we head to about, if this game is going to go above 50 minutes, net worth doesn't really even matter how much. If it's going to be 10k or less than 10k, it doesn't matter. But anything above that, probably maybe see some rapier drops or whatever, but we don't have to worry about those items yet, since there's the MKB on Palantimos and there's a 5-man smoke here. Our Suicide Team ready for this? Luna's in an awful position here. There's a 2-man Chronosphere, also the Astral Spirit Stump to follow up, and oh my goodness, he does pop the cheese though, but Yol is dead, so is Vanscore. Luna's still alive, but he does end up getting rid of Atos here, so he does pop that shrine. It's not gonna quite save his life though. Tusk has to buy back, and Vanscore gonna die a second time. Well, what can you say? Vega Squadron found an opening where Luna was out of position, and so they just find these kills. Batrider playing around with Zajac here, trying to get this creep wave and halt the push. He's trying his best to slow him down. Actually, he does get the entire creep wave for some reason, but doesn't want to risk his life too much. Well, all the small Jimmies are just running back and forth, not knowing where to go, but the backdoor protection is already off. There's the glyph being forced, and these catapults trying to kill this last creep. Undershock finishing off the racks. There's the wards being used. The second lane of racks probably ends up going down. Batrider is in trouble. Doom finds him, and Zajac also. They follow up with the stuns. Shaklo is gonna die pretty surely. Yes, he will. Zajac finishing off the kill with the Astral Spirit, and now looking like Megas here. Void and Undershock trying to make most of this. Yol trying to defend here, but BZZ falling low. He's disarmed. He can't do anything, and this Shadow Fiend is gone. Has to buy back, and 4 heroes dead. Well, we won't be seeing a game 3 here, as Vega just somehow pulling this through after winning 2 team fights and getting the Megas. Their base is in shambles, and the only one to watch this disaster is BZZ. Are they going to end this game though, or will they just head for the Roshan pit? He's still dead for some time though, but they just finish off the base. It is mega creeps. And this game just escalated way too quickly than what it was supposed to. Suicide Team, they're facing a very difficult time here as they're fighting against Megas. They do have Luna, which is a good defender against Mega Creeps, but is it going to be enough? He has built himself around 300 damage to keep off their opponents and all the creeps. But one team fight loss is gonna mean them the game. Vega, they aren't in a hurry. They have the time to start finishing these last items on all of their heroes. An Assault Cuirass coming in the way of the DK. Void is already 6 slotted. Well, pretty much finishes a Maelstrom. He puts his boots in the bag. He's got Butterfly, and that's all of the movement speed that he needs. Just maximizing his damage output. Blizzy. This is a very tanky Doom as well, since he is the gem carrier for their team, with the BKB, the Halberd giving some extra evasion, also the Shiva's Guard to give some movement speed slow, and also some nice amount of armor for this hero, making this Doom very hard to take down. They are clustering around this mid lane though, Palantinos. He does have his Chrono up. Both teams actually have all of their ultimates online right now, and it's just up to this Roshan that is about to respawn. Should be about 37 seconds or so to have that ready. But there's a Radiant scan. They are waiting for this trap though. BZZ in the front. They do get that Shackle. They get it first. There's the Shadow Fiend ultimate that does land. Valentimos using his Chrono here. Shadow Fiend is gone for 110. He's not coming back. Shackle, the same thing, and they're all stacked up. And GG. And Vega Squadron will make their way into the $1 million prize pool of the Bucharest Major. Suicide Team, they had a good fight. They show they're a capable team, but Vega, a deserved 2-0 victory for them as they will make their way into the Bucharest Major. Oh, what a good series. Anyways, guys, before I wrap this up, huge thanks to all of you followers. I'm completely amazed about the amount of people I've watching here in my small little stream here. I did start a Twitter page today as well, so you can follow me there. I'll post it in the chat. And if you like my cast, I mean, just hit that follow button. I really appreciate you guys being here, and it's been a big pleasure to cast for you guys. This is it. This is it for today's Bucharest Major. So I'm probably going to be casting some Nordic in-house league later on if you want to tune in, but at least for now I'm going to have a small break. Thanks guys for being here, and have a good one. See you guys later.
Lyhty sammunut pääni päällä, ei yksikään ajatus elä. Kipu esittäytyy ystävänä, on aina vain lähempänä. Valit sitä rakkaudella, sillä ei ole minulla toista. Huokaan hiljaa eikä kukaan vasta. Päivät seuraavat toinen toistaan. Ja minä odotan jotain tapahtuvan. tietääkö joku syy, jos olen ollut poissa pitkän aikaa? Itkeekö joku, jos kuulee minun kuolleen pois? Huomaako edes kukaan? Onko haudallani kynttilöitä? Kukkia saako mukaan? I heard the passing bells calling out my name. I knew I'd never see another day. I couldn't swim against the tides of blame. I knew there was no other way. You better practice your lines. You better practice your words. I know the real monsters lie between the light and the shade. It doesn't matter what you say or feel. When honest men become the raging gene, you flick to a line. The sun, yeah, the sentence. Brothers, yes, you are. The sun, yeah, the sentence. You'll see you flick to a line. The sun, yeah, the sentence. Brothers, yes, you are. The sun, yeah, the sentence. You'll see you flick to a line. I saw the dagger eyes staring back at me. I knew I'd never have a chance to bleed. Guilty, but in the sight of fallen men, they bury you before you speak. You better practice your lines. You better practice your words. I know that real monsters lie between the light and the shade. It doesn't matter what you say or feel. When honest men become a razor gene, you flick to a line. The sun, yeah, the sentence. Brothers, yes, you are. The sun, yeah, the sentence. You'll see you flick to a line. The sun, yeah, the sentence. Brothers, yes, you are. The sun, yeah, the sentence. You'll see you flick to a line. Beware those who speak in tongues, for they